I'm interested in this story. I want to walk through this story with you if I can. I'm just going to take my time. I won't be real long, but my thought is this, and I couldn't get it out of my head all week long. My thought's this: surviving is not thriving. Surviving is not thriving. Just because you survived some troubles and trials don't mean you're thriving as a Christian. Most of us are just in survival mode. We're just trying to hang on. We're enduring to the end. That's why when you hear us talk, most of us talk about heaven. Can't wait to die. Can't wait to get to heaven. Can't wait to go see grandma. Why? Because life is so miserable here. We're hoping for some relief when we get to the other side. But here's what Jesus said. Jesus said, when I come into your life, it's heaven on earth, or it should be heaven on earth in your life. You should have the peace of God now, not in heaven. You should have the joy of God now, not when you get to heaven. You should have the presence and power of God now, not when you get to heaven. But I'll be honest with you, the majority of us that go to church do not display that. It's not there. And I think we can find some help in this little story. And I know it's familiar. A lot of you know this story, and I've preached this story a whole lot. But I want you to notice, first of all, Jesus said he went up to Jerusalem. And coming into Jerusalem, there was the sheep market. Sheep gate. Now, notice a contrast here. He comes into the sheep market through the sheep gate. Business is going on, transactions going on. And then he says there's a pool here at this gate. And at this pool, there's 5 porches with a whole great multitude of a bunch of sick folk. There's a huge contrast. The sheep gate is where the animals were brought in for the temple. That's where business was conducted. That's where they would buy and sell. That's where things were going on. Transactions were being made. Business was being done. That's where people were going about living their life. They were busy either working and making an income, or they're busy going about trading and buying different things. And they were busy. On one hand, it's wide open. It is just going. People are living their life. But in the same place, there's 5 porches with people that are barely holding on. They're too alive to be dead, but they're too dead to be alive. And all they can do is lay there and look at everybody else that's living life and enjoying life and everybody else being happy, and all they can do is wait for the stirring of the water. That's what it says they're waiting on. It says they're laying there. And only at a certain season do you find help in here. Only in a certain season will you recover here. But these folks are living life every day and going about and enjoying it, and they're happy, and they're buying and selling and trading and living life and chasing their dreams and following along. But you're lay over here waiting, hoping something stirs. How many sitting in here today, you're absolutely miserable. You're not happy with your life. You're not happy with your marriage. Not happy in your family. Not happy in your job. Not happy with your finances. And you know what you're doing? You're laying around watching other people go and live and do and have, and you're laying over here just waiting for something to happen.
Go ahead, preacher.
I want to ask you a question today. What's your porch? What's the name of your porch?
Come on, preacher.
What's the name of your porch? Sickness? Sickness? Is that the name of your porch? I'm going to hit a few things here, and I'm your pastor, so I have to do this and I have to help you, okay? So hang with me. I'm trying to help you. Man, I preach to help your soul, now I'm trying to help your body too. Man, I want you to look up here at this preacher. I'm bipolar. I'm manic depressant. I'm on anxiety medications. I have anger management issues. I really do. Some days it's a fight to even get out of bed and put on clothes. But you know what you do? You get out of bed and you put on your clothes. Oh, you know what? I just can't do it. No. You're just trying to survive. You're not thriving. And God, according to this, and I'm going to get on down into it, but Jesus is not happy with you only surviving. He's not happy with you sitting on a porch. Well, you just don't understand what happened years ago. You need to go back and watch that movie Frozen. Let it go, let it go. No, you can't change yesterday. Why do you keep dwelling on it? Why do you keep wallowing in it? It's time to get up off the porch. Some of you, sickness has become your escape from reality. You would rather lay in sickness than you had get up and enjoy life.
You're right. Come on, preacher.
Here's what Jesus said. Jesus said a whole bunch of people laying there. There's different kind of porches. But he noticed one certain man. And this man had been here 38 years. In 38 years, I believe I could have got to the pool. In 38 years, I believe I could have helped myself a little bit. In 38 years, I could have done something. I would have just kept rolling. I mean, if nothing else, I just go sit in the water like it's a big old hot tub after 38 years. I mean, I just sat down there. He kept saying, somebody will get in before I get there. I just go lay in the water. I just do the backstroke, just waiting on him to show up. After 38 years, now we're laughing and saying that's funny. It might not have been 38 years, but for the past 38 weeks, 38 months, 38 days, you've not bothered helping yourself. You've not rolled toward help. You've not got up. You've not tried to do anything yourself. You're simply waiting on something to stir for you. I sure wish I could lose weight. Then why you keep stuffing your face with chocolate cake? Guilty. That's one thing you don't understand about a preacher. God preaches it to us before we get to preach it to you. I sure wish I could lose weight. Then do it. Funny thing in my life, you gripe about having diabetes, but you're the first one at the dessert table. Well, you know, I'm going to cut back because I got diabetes. I'm only going to eat a baked potato and some bread. You might well just eat white sugar. It's the same thing. It's going to turn into the same thing. You can't have those carbs. Oh, I'm feeling bad. My blood pressure's up. No wonder. Don't raise your hand on this, but how many of you salt your food before you even taste it? It's become a habit to salt it. Then you hear something like this, those that's on blood pressure medicine. Well, I take medicine so I can do this. No, you're on medicine because you keep doing that. Now, we're being funny, but it boils down to no self-control. We will not take responsibility for ourselves. You ever heard the saying like this? I'm waiting on God. Well, big boy, God's waiting on you. They're laying there waiting for something to stir. How many years you wish you had a better job? How many applications you put in? How many training classes you done? I know this is not normal church preaching. I told you, I'm trying to help you this morning as your pastor. I sure wish my finances was better. How many financial classes you taking? Did you open a savings account, put your little money in a savings account? Have been stuck in squirreling some away? I wish I was closer to God. No, you don't. If you wanted to be closer to God, you would be closer to God. But you really don't want to be closer to God. You just like saying I want to be closer to God because that sounds good in front of church folk. I'm headed somewhere, okay? Been there 38 years. 38 years. Surely within 38 years, he could have he could have helped himself some way, somehow. But Jesus comes up and Jesus sees him. He's been there 38 years. And here's what Jesus said. Here's what your Bible says. Jesus saw him lie. He's not trying to get to the water. He's not crawling. He's not even sitting and waiting. He's relaxed. He's settled in. He's laid down. He's gotten comfortable in his infirmity. He has gotten so comfortable, the Bible says he made a bed for it. Well, if I'm going to be here, let me get me a mattress. Let me get me a pillow. Let me get me a little clock radio. Let me get a charging station so I got my phone. He's laying there. Comfortable. In the bed that he made for his porch for his sickness. And I can see him a little bit. Now, this is James Holly, but I can see him. If said there's a multitude of folk, but they all kind of found their spot where they belong. And I'm sure he said, slide over. You too close to my spot. No, this is my spot. You're not going to edge me out of my spot. You stay over there. This is my spot. Hey, can I share your rent? No, this is mine. Can I use your charging station? No, stay away from here. This is my spot. You know what he did, this man? He developed an addiction to his affliction. He developed an addiction to his affliction. Jesus saw him laying there, and he got so comfortable, he made him a bed. And Jesus said, I can tell you've been here a long time, man. You got this thing fixed up. You put posters on the wall. You got your family pictures sitting over beside you. You got this thing fixed up. It's like a Cadillac in here. Because you really don't want help. I've often wondered why Jesus asked the question that he asked, and I thought it was kind of a crazy question until I noticed there in verse number 6 that Jesus saw him lie and realized he had been there. In other words, he made a bed, he made it comfortable. And Jesus said this, wilt thou be made whole? Do you even want to get better? Do you want your life to get better? Do you want your relationships fixed? Do you want your finances fixed? Do you want that healing you said you want? Do you even really want it? Or have you got so comfortable in the affliction, you've got so comfortable in the misery, you really don't want help anymore? Because it's easier to play a victim than it is to be an overcomer.